you got to get out there to go do it. If you're living in the box and all you're doing is, and you're working and you're never actually getting out and touching people, building trust, building credibility, seeing new things so you can build bigger dreams. If you're never doing that, then I'm sorry, but it's going to be really hard to raise money. All right, hey everybody, welcome to the Curious Entrepreneur Podcast, Raising Capital. I'm gonna get right to it. I hate race. Lord have mercy. I can't stop, but I can't I'm pretty sure there are some times that I did not get the funding I wanted because I was black. And I'm not even black. Like, this is black. That's black. I mean, this is white. I've never seen anybody either color. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, I've been told it's because my pitch deck wasn't good enough, business plan wasn't good enough. And that's cool. That's cool. But then I see these idiots, fraudulent, crime committing, founders, startup founders, getting funded in the billions, millions, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm just being honest and working hard and all that. And I'm not getting any attention, any love. But then these evil people are like, what? How do you get funded to build an 18-wheeler that's supposed to be electric? Then it turns out it's not electric and autonomous, but you got all this money and you put an 18-wheeler shell up on the stage and lied to people. Like, how do you get funded for these medical companies? They're shams. It seems like all the bad people get the money and the good people get nothing. And then you multiply it with the blackness thing. I'm just pretty sure, that the idea of race disintegrates the idea of trust, when people first get together, first meet each other. So, and then with women, raising funds hard or whatever, I don't know. We're going to go into all that. Raising funds seems to be pretty difficult for your business, for my business. I'm sure most of y'all feel the same. Even like regular white people, I'm sure you feel the same too. Like, hey, it's hard to raise funds. I don't know your story, but I want to find out when we have our conference. It's going to be awesome. Okay, but I found it really difficult to raise money for my company. Really difficult. Like, oh my God, like, you have no idea how painful. You might know how painful it is. But I got to this point where it was this year. I tried to do something just monstrous. I tried to buy another company. Now, I didn't know that doing outrageously large things in my mind are normal and wealthy people's minds. Had no idea. I had no idea. They'd rather sink $1 million into something that could fail or make $5 million than they would sink 100,000 into something that could fail or make 110,000. Because I thought returns were returns. You know what I mean? No, sir. No, sir. Hey, these venture capitalists, these investors, they want serious returns. They don't want piddly money back. They can go do that in stocks. They can do that in cryptocurrency. They can go make 10% on their money all day. Heck, the average guy that I deal with now is making 13%, 15%. So, yeah. You got to get your guts together and go after something large if you want to attract money. You got to do something way more exciting. Entrepreneurs, if you're hearing this and you're trying to raise funds and you feel like you're being typed or looked over, I guarantee you, they don't look over you when you're doing something that touches the size that they want to touch. Now, I'm going to go into another little level here. This is what's crazy. There are investors that want to give money to companies doing things they like. It ain't even about the return. It's not. Like, you could, there are investors, if you said, I want to start a football team, I'm looking outside because I'm just thinking about the different kind of companies that exist around me. You want to start a football team where everybody greases up, puts on loincloths and moccasins, and gets on this field together, made out of dirt, and you play football. Now that makes no sense, right? Well, if you say, I'm going to do this and I want to have a team in every state and teams around the world, and we're going to come together for this super big championship, and it's going to be televised, just imagine all the grease and all the dirt, people falling all over each other and everything, right? There are investors who like that and would back that up because you have a global push. You want to do this really big thing. Now, I'm not saying to go do that. I'm not advising that. But I am saying, I think investors need to see bigger dreams come out of people that feel like they've feel like it's been hard to receive investment. Now, is this a hack for Black people, for women, for people who don't have networks of funding? Maybe, but it's been said before. You gotta dream bigger. You gotta come with something way more exciting than just, I'm going to open a frozen yogurt. I need $100,000 to open a frozen yogurt shop. What's the return? Am I excited by it? Is this something I like? Y'all, investors and the funds that are out there, man, before you start asking, ask yourself, what's the return? Was it going to excite anybody? Do they like it? Now, moving on, there are other types of funds to go after. And if you can't check the boxes with private investors with those three questions, I implore you to look at bootstrapping, but bootstrapping smartly. What that means is that you put away what you want to do for a while and go find the highest yield stuff, the best money makers you can, and do that until you can pay your own way. Now, it doesn't feel as good. It's not going to be as fun to you, but it will allow you to do what you want to do. Now, I've done both at this point. I've bootstrapped, doing work I didn't want to do, but it paid me what I needed so that I could do the work I wanted to do. And I've also started dealing with investors. And I'm finding that for the most part, both paths are pretty difficult. They're not very fun. But they both work. Now, something I want to share with you about trust. As you start to go into larger money, people have to know you or be able to vet you through your references and through your networks. They have to trust you. And a lot of you entrepreneurs are living in a box or in a bubble and isolation where you're not out meeting people, not out talking to people, or you're just meeting the wrong people. You got to build some healthy networks. You got to start trying to be around people who dream the way that you want to dream and have the money that you want. That could take years to develop. It could take a long time, but I'm telling you, it works. Trust is why people invest. Opportunity is another reason why, but really it's trust. They trust that it's going to make money, and they trust that you're the right person. I've seen big businesses not be able to raise funds because the owner was not trustworthy. People just didn't like him. So now I guess we're looking at like likability, trust, who you know, and is your dream big enough? That's pretty good. Yeah. Do they like you, and do they like what you're doing? Do they trust you, and do they trust that you're going to do the right things and make money with your business or try to make money? Man, that's pretty important stuff. Is there going to be a return? Huge question. And who do you know? Entrepreneurs, this is probably my most serious point right here. You need to know people. You need to get out of the shell. You need to go see, go hear, go sit, go meet, travel. You got to get out. You got to get out. There's a theory that you never meet somebody you're not supposed to meet. There's literally a theory, and people are exploring it, both in religious worlds, spiritual worlds, and in scientific worlds. There's this idea that you never have a pointless meeting. Now, I think the thing about it is when does it come into factor? When does it come into play? I met this person 4 years ago, but now it comes into play. I met a guy here in Birmingham. I'm gonna tell you a way that I got access to a lot of my capital now. I met a guy in Birmingham 2010, 11 maybe. It's 2023. This guy who I met then, who we had no dealings. Turns out he knows a guy that's in my life now. I needed a bunch of money. This guy says, have you ever met this guy? I was like, of course I met that guy. I sit with this guy. This guy calls another guy. That guy calls the owner of this other company. That guy talks to me and goes, I'll back you. I'll bankroll you. It's 12 years ago. You know what I mean? This stuff is all valuable. Everything I'm telling you is valuable. I don't care how you get it or if it's random, it's broken. Listen to me. These meetings, these situations you're putting yourself into, they all mean something. But you got to get out there to go do it. If you're living in a box and all you're doing is, and you're working and you're never actually getting out and touching people, building trust, building credibility, seeing new things so you can build bigger dreams. If you're never doing that, then I'm sorry, but it's going to be really hard to raise money. Now, I think race plays a part in traditional fundraising. And this is where I'm going to pop the bubble right here. In traditional fundraising, yes, I think it's hard to raise money. With banks, I think a lot of it is just banks are just stuffy and they're stiff and they don't like to actually, do stuff like this. And maybe race does play a part. But in the same breath, I deal with a guy now who can call a bank and that bank, hearing him say, give Randall this right here, they do it. Credibility though. Guys, I need y'all to get out the box, get out of isolation, go build some trust, build some networks, build some credibility, go see new things. I want you to travel. I literally want you to leave your city, go somewhere you've never been and see something else. You will have meetings that you've never dreamed you would have. You'll meet people that you never dreamed you would meet. Your perspective will change. You'll come back with a bigger dream that people are going to want to invest in. I'm telling you, it's beautiful. And you'll build new relationships. I need you to go outside, build new relationships. Go to crap that you would never go to. Go salsa dancing. Go play pickleball. Travel. Do something. Get out of here. It's. I don't know if you ever watched a tree grow, but once you plant it, man, ain't much else you can do. You know what I mean? You can try to keep it growing straight, but it's really about the soil. It's really about the soil. It's not about the tree anymore. It's about the soil. Is it watered? Does it have nutrients? Are you tending to that foundational work? If you are, great. You can afford to leave for a while and go do what I'm telling you to do. Build some trust. Go help in somebody else's garden. Now, try to understand this metaphor. Go help in somebody else's garden. That's a great way to build trust. Go support another entrepreneur, another business that is getting out there, or another nonprofit or startup thing or whatever business thing right there. You know what I mean? Go help somebody else's garden if you got yours somewhat put together. Because you can't do anything else. People aren't going to just give you money, because you exist. If they see you as a good gardener, you might get some money. If they see you as somebody who, you can plant one tree, but you went out there and laid it all out and planted 900 trees, okay, I like that person. You can raise some money, but if you say you're a tree planter and people don't see you as a gardener, as a cultivator, as an agriculturalist, no, you won't have the trust. Not that you're lying, you're doing it, but you're just doing it alone, hiding away in the woods instead of putting it out there in front of the world. Thank you, Lord. Okay. Yeah, this thing right here where people go, Raekwon, you ever heard somebody go, I don't want to share my idea because somebody might take it. Yeah. Well, guess what? It's already taken. You're not the only one in this freaking world who has the same idea. I'm telling you, if you want to raise money for your idea, it's time to get out of your house, out of your mind, out of your little shoebox. You got it hidden here. This is my idea. I'm going to create a credit card that gives you sky miles. No. Come on, man. Like, for real, chill. Just share. Heck, something I love in my wallet that I think was just a brilliant idea. This is the access card that you tap to get into doors. It's not a credit card, just tap it. It responds to a signal coming off the door, off the reader, to something in here, and that frequency, if they match, they open, right? How many companies do this? A buttload. I'm going to tell you something crazy. If the person who invented this tried to hide it, keep it to themselves, never let it get out, tried to own the whole market, something would have happened. What would have happened was he could have sold it to maybe one company. And they could have utilized it. And that one company didn't have all the market share on all the access doors. So other companies are going to say, well, we need it too. Now, he could have gotten out there and talked about it and sold it to 60 companies. But because he stayed quiet or she stayed quiet and tried to hide everything, that technology stayed with her. And she may have made one sale, two sales, and ultimately she did not get to realize the full effect of it. He didn't get to realize the full effect of it because it kept it locked in. Now, that technology, you all know it, it's huge, it's massive, billions of dollars. You make, you grow, you build by sharing, not by hiding it. So if you want to raise money, get out there, start talking to people. Sharing. I'm not saying go down the street and just talk to a random person. No, go places where you're like, hey, I need access to billions. Well, go where billionaires are. You can Google it. Like, this is not a irrational experiment. Go where billionaires are. If they're in the Maldives, go hang out in the Maldives. And when you go get your mimosa, sitting at the little bar by the beach, and you're drinking, they go, what do you do? Oh, I got this crazy technology or this business. You know what I mean? That's your opportunity. But I'm telling y'all, build trust. Help other people garden in their gardens. Go see new things, gain new perspective, meet new people. Hey, dream a big dream that's worth investing in. Not to you, but to people that have the money. And build new relationships. You cannot do this alone. Entrepreneurs, thank you for listening. This is Randall Cottrell, Curious Entrepreneur, embracing wisdom, taking risks. See you next time.